So if you're at a protest and you want to document police violence, which I highly encourage you to do, there's a few things that you can do to make sure that you're safe and ethical and impactful. First thing is to know your rights. You have a First Amendment constitutional right to film law enforcement in public spaces. You just can't interfere, and whether or not you're interfering is completely at the discretion of the police officer. So try to stay at least an arm's length distance away, or at least like a car's length away. If police officers tell you to back up, it's best to comply. You can even film your feet to show that you complied and that you were walking away. Before you go out to a protest, it's a good idea to have a legal number. This is the National Lawyers Guild hotline, written somewhere on your body or memorized in case your phone gets stolen or confiscated. Police do not have the right to take your phone, search through your phone without your consent or a court order, but they might do this anyway. So it's important that before you go to a protest to have your videos and your photos backing up to a cloud so that there's an additional layer of protection in case you lose it. You also want to have at least a 6-digit code on your phone, not the Touch ID or Face ID or pattern lock. If you are filming, try to just focus on law enforcement, not on anybody who's protesting. If you do share that footage, you want to make sure to blur out faces, any identifying markers, tattoos, affiliation on shirts, things like that. Remember, we're using our phones to expose law enforcement, not our fellow protesters and civilians. Film details: are police officers using excessive force? What weapons do they have? How many agents are there? Are they working with different agencies? Are they holding their weapons? Do they have protective gear on? Are they using any hateful languages, slurs, things like that? We want to be recording this. These are important details if we're going to use this footage for advocacy or evidence. A few other filming tips: try to hold your phone horizontally. You get more information in the screen that way. Try to take your elbows over your hips like this so they sit like a tripod so that your shot is steadier and isn't shaky. Instead of panning kind of rapidly, you want to have slow, steady pans to really be able to see what's happening for a lawyer or a journalist later. Don't immediately share your footage. You want to pause and think about if there's any identities that you need to protect or blur out. YouTube has a free blurring tool for this. Do you want to protect your own identity? Do you want to upload this with your name attached to it? These might be things you want to think about. Often we see that protesters' footage is discredited, so we want to be able to prove that our footage is real and that we filmed it where we said we filmed it at the time we said we filmed it. Some easy ways to do that are to film landmarks, the outsides of buildings, street signs, your home screen that shows the time and date, any kind of verifiable landmarks, things like that. It's best to let the footage speak for itself. If you use biased emotional language, it can hurt its chances of being able to be used as evidence in court. So if you do narrate, stick to facts only. Timing is also really important. As we saw with the George Floyd video, the video was released after the official police narrative, which can make a really big difference in being able to highlight and expose those discrepancies. So before you share, take a beat, take a pause, think about what you filmed, who you could be incriminating, and how you can make a bigger impact. Share it with an advocacy organization or a lawyer or a trusted journalist first.